real quick, before we change gears, I want to ask, how important do you think it is from an organizational standpoint when you're building an organization, when the organization is not where you want to be at the big league level?
Mm-hmm.
How important do you think it is to win in minor leagues?
Very. Like Double A was in the championship series for us. I think High A won the championship.
Did you guys
Gets you used to winning though. Like you learn how to win big games.
Did you guys win besides Eugene? Did you guys win along the
We
way?
went to the playoffs in 19. That's the only other time I've been to the playoffs. Or in High A, we went to the playoffs, but there was a hurricane, so it got cut short, and it was like the two tops in each division played each other for co-champs.
I got a ring in Myrtle, but I was in the part of the first half, not the second half.
Yeah.
But Dakota, you're saying you think it's super important. Winning in the minor league is super important.
100%.
Yeah, because you learn how to win. Like you learn, like in a minor league season, you're not always going get him on, get him over, get him in. You know what I mean? Like you're not bunting a guy over trying to get a base hit, or you're not trying to hit a sac fly with a guy on 3rd and 1 out in a big spot. Like you're just like, I'm trying to hit a homer every time, or I'm trying to get a hit every time because that's going to help me go to the big leagues. When you play to win a championship, even in the minors, you're doing everything you can to win games. Like a relief pitcher, you might go in, you have to face 3, you'll face 3 guys and you're out. Like that's it. Like you're not going 2 innings, you're struggling a little bit, but it's like, let's see if you can get through it.
Zach, what do you got on that?
No, I agree. I think winning, I don't think it's really a secret that like the Rays always have teams in the playoffs, for every level. Then they get there and the guys perform well. I think any more, pressure, quote unquote, I'm not saying it means the world when you're playing in minor league baseball, when you're in the playoffs, but I think any added pressure is huge for development of an organization and breeding that winning mentality everywhere you go. And again, in 16 and 17, that was like all the organization preached was like, be ready when it happens because we're going to play to win at every single level.
The group that was in front of me, and I was never a part of it really, but the group that was in front of me in the minor leagues, Schwarber, Almora, Vogelback, Contreras, more people, Blackburn, like more dudes ended up in the big leagues. They won, I believe they won in Double A when they were all together. And then that AAA team was good, but like all those guys got through the system pretty quick, but like they were really, they were all played together and they had really good teams. And I never really experienced it because I was just behind those guys and then on kind of half seasons with teams. But like, I think especially when you have younger, like, high school prospects, like I think as those guys come through and play a year at a time at different level, like I think it's hugely important.
Imagine like what that group did coming up, the group that you were talking about, winning everywhere, then they get to the big leagues and win. It's like that's all they know coming through
expectation. Yeah.
All they know, like, hey, we have to win. We've done this, like I don't know. You see all the teams that play well for the most part, excluding the superstar teams. It's like, oh, wow, look how much fun this team's having. And it's like, yeah, because they've been there before. Like they've won together. Like perfect example, the Guardians, they're not in a powerhouse division. But like we always say, it's like, oh, you mean the Akron Rubber Duck Guardians or like the Columbus Clipper Guardians? It's like all of those guys are just coming up, getting called up and playing, and they're having a blast, and they're playing very good baseball.
And you have great relationships from that in the minors when you've played, like they all came up together most likely, and they've won together, so they know how to do it. They're like, oh, it's
right.
Just the
so
big
it's like they don't
really
really see any difference when they're up there. It's like you look to your left and look to your right. It's your boy you've been playing with for 2 years, 3 years.
There was a group that with the Royals that did that, and then they ended up going to the World Series in 14, winning in 15. That group with the Cubs was a little bit more of a, like, KB was different time than the rest. Rizzo was already there. They had some good free agent additions and
but they won the year before in 15.
Yeah, but 15 they played really well, and then 16 they did it all together. And I don't know about the teams after that, but like there was a real recipe there where like guys came up together, and had that winning culture, and then built. And it's a very interesting. I was just thinking about it because we had 2 really good years between our high A team won the Midwest League, and then the Tennessee team went to the championship and didn't win. And Myrtle had a good year, but got bounced in the playoffs. And it was just interesting. The Cubs farm system was pretty strong, but it was pretty interesting about just like how important winning is.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think culture is the most thrown around word in sports.
Yes,
but
for sure.
I truly believe winning, cures or breeds culture.
Yeah.
And I think if the more you win, the more you learn how to win, the better off, obviously, your organization or whatever you're doing, your team, anywhere.
It's hilarious because the word culture and like winning at different levels is like almost the opposite of analytics. Like analytics would tell you that it's just who's on the team, it's just luck. It's just, and then like the people that are there, the players, the coaches, like the humans that are there would tell you like, no, like it's abundantly clear when you're there, the impact that culture has on winning, on what's important, on what's emphasized, and like how that manifests itself at the big league level. I think those are like super real things.
Think about like if you're playing in the outfield and going through the trenches with the guy next to you, and there's a huge play and there's a ball in the gap, like you're trusting one another where you're going to be. Even in the infield, if I'm going back for a pop up and I don't necessarily trust the guy behind me, I don't really know him. Like it's not gonna build anything that remotes winning. Like
I played with a lot of different people in the last couple of years. The amount of trust that Nico and I have built between the shortstop and the left fielder on the mid-range pop-ups.
That could be, yes, 100%.
I don't know if the listener can understand the amount of trust that you need. And Nico and I, we actually almost killed each other last year.
I was going to say, you guys collided.
We tried to murder each other. Nico forearmed me in the face, kneed me in the ribs, and I broke his elbow. We did a good job. We put each other on the 10-day, and we really tried to hurt each other. Since then, and that was center and short, but since then we have really figured out our tempo between short and left field, and like the balls that he can get to, the balls that I can get to, what that looks like. And it took us 2 whole years, maybe a full year, to get to that point. And that is so, I can't, from like a defensive standpoint and from that understanding, like it's so valuable that we have that understanding. And I'm actually really excited for next year when the shift is gone and he's always on my side because he goes in the hole. But like him being there and us having that understanding, we got to about June this year, and when we're on the same side of the field, nothing will ever fall in between us because we have such an understanding. He's really good at getting back there. I know to let him have balls when he gets back there, and it's such a big deal. Like those things, they go a long way when you get to play together.
It's so funny that play. It true. That's what I was referring to. It's like me going back and just not trusting the right fielder. Where it's like it's a natural thing. The guy's not going to trust me either. No.
And I real quick, like when I'm as the guy that's played left field all year, and having like 5 to 6 different guys play those 2 positions, like the only guy that I explicitly trust no matter what is Nico, because I've had so much time with him and so little time with the other guys.
And that's not a knock on anybody else.
No,
it's just it's the how you feel about, I mean, it's funny. It's like, by the book, it's like, oh, the outfield has priority. And it's like, yeah, of course. But it's like, if I can, just for the sake of communication and the left fielder, center fielder knows, like, if I think I can catch the ball, I'm going to call it no matter what. So there's a base of communication. So we're not, either of us aren't running and looking at each other and then the ball falls between us. Like, if you don't hear anything, go.
It actually becomes an infinitely easier play if the shortstop is camped than if the outfielder is flying in with his head
and then sliding. Right. It's I totally agree. And you don't understand that, or if you don't practice and trust that, It's not going to work. And I think the more you do that, and especially in high leverage games in minor leagues or whatever, you get there in game 6, game 7, it's like, oh, done this.
And if you trust that guy,
not that I've played in a game 6 or game 7, but that's how I think it would be.
but if you trust that guy explicitly, you know what you should do for him?
What's that?
Get him a pair of Mugsy jeans. You should get him a pair of Mugsy jeans, maybe 2 pairs of Mugsy jeans, to tell him how much you appreciate the fact that he's out there, the fact that he's with you every single day. And if you want to get 10% off, use code JOHNBOY for 10% off the entire site. I'm wearing Mugsy's right now. Mugsy's are the most comfortable jeans in the game. That's not a question. It's just a fact. They're the most comfortable jeans. They're stretchy. They have great fits. They don't stretch out. I've used some other brands that they are too stretchy, some would say, where you wash them and they don't come back. They don't come back to the shape. Mugsy's aren't like that. They have fantastic shape. They just opened a store in Austin, which I'm headed down there pretty soon. I'm going to go see it. And I'm excited to see it. But that is 10% off the entire site using code JOHNBOY. And they also have some kind of great cashmere tops. They got some nice pieces. Don't count out the tops that they have, but that's Mugsy jeans. 10% off code JOHNBOY.
I have a question.
Yes.
What 2 teams make it to the World Series? / what teams are you rooting for?
Oh, I think the Bravos make it back.
I'm hoping for a Phillies Yankees World Series. Kyle Schwarber versus ex-college teammate Scott Efros.
I love that. I think it's the Bravos, and I do also think it's the Yanks. I think the Astros have been a great team, but I think the Yanks are going to really hit their stride come playoff time. I think they have the right leaders. I think they have the right individuals in place, and I think that I got Yanks Braves.
If you're impartial, you have to be rooting a little bit for the Mariners, right? I feel like that's such an easy team to root for.
Dude, that team is good, man.
I don't think about the M's much. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really thinking about the M's.
I think that's because they're West Coast and you never see them, but and they got to win a wild card just to get in. I think they're playing the Rays, possibly.
So is that one game or is that 3 games?
Ian, resident MLB PA member.
3.
Nice.
That didn't sound confident. That sounded like a guess.
100%. It's a 3-game wild card. Do the Yanks have a bye?
The Yanks do have a bye, yes.
Do you want me to read? I have the playoff matchups in front of me if you'd like me to read them.
Go ahead.
Well, the Brewers are still competing with the Phillies, who have not.
Brought to you by Mugsy.
Sure, but we're going to assume the Phillies hold on. If they don't, then that will be the Brewers.
Yes.
As of right now, the National League looks like this. The Dodgers and Braves, your top 2 seeds. They have a bye. Best of 3 series between the St. Louis Cardinals and either the Brewers or the Phillies. More likely going to be the Phillies. And then tough for the Mets. They're going to probably win over 100 games and get the 4 seed. They'll have to take on the Padres.
Yep, it is tough.
The Braves have not clinched, though.
They have not. They were playing the Marlins tonight. If they won, they clinched, but I don't believe they did.
What happened?
And the Mets got rained out. So
Mets got rained out, and the Braves lost 4-0.
So it's a 1.5 game lead with 3 to play.
Braves got 2, Mets have 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Tough draw for the Mets having to play a double dip.
Braves also hold the tiebreaker there, just in case.
They hold. I saw that. They hold tiebreaker. The Braves. Let me tell you about the Braves. That's a good team.
You wish you would have got traded there. Just say it.
No,
Zach, has anybody ever talked up the Braves any more than Ian Happ?
I played the 5th.
You know what? I got a really cool thing I got to experience. I got to hang out with the Braves staff in LA, and some of the players. The Braves, they do a great job. They have all of their they have done such a good job of all of their dudes are secure. All their players are secure. They're not playing they're playing for each other. They're playing to win. They have done such a good job of cultivating that group. Charlie Morton just signed another $20 million extension. They have a group of guys that only solely cares about winning all the time. It's a really cool atmosphere at their ballpark. It's a great place to play. Like and they've done it. They've done it. There's something to be said about experience. There's something to be said about a group that's played together. I have a lot of faith in like what that team brings to the table. And I think that Kyle Wright's been really good this year. Max Fried's got experience and he's a great pitcher. Charlie Morton has experience. He's a great pitcher. And then you have Strider, who hasn't pitched in the playoffs, but has been unbelievable in the regular season. And they have Kenley Jansen closing games, and I think they have some depth.
I mean, that's another team basically who's mostly all homegrown, right?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Like coming up together, winning together. I mean, I understand it's tough. You can't just say, hey, this is the group we're going to come up with. But it's like, if you have a group like that, try your best to lock them down. And they did.
Yeah. And I think they do a good job, similar to the Cardinals. They do a good job of keeping the staff in place and them really like learning what the organization believes in, what the organization values. They promote guys from within and they have a lot of continuity and they do a good job. And I'm going to say that they're going to, as they've done for the last 20 years, continue to be a very good franchise. And I think that that Dodgers team is very, very, very good, but the Braves are deeper than people think.
Zach, are you sneaky becoming a Yankees fan?
Ooh.
Dude, it's funny. I was talking to my friend from school who's a huge Mets fan, and he was like, oh, since your season's over, like, can you become a Mets fan with me again? And I was like, honestly, dude, like, I've been so invested in watching the Yankees now.
100%. Like you texted us today, there's Monday Night Football, and you said Scott warming up.
So I was flipping in between games.
Are you on Yes Network?
I was flipping in between games, and I always try to watch when Judge comes up. So, like, I'll keep a tab on it. And then my dad was like, yo, like, Severino has a no-hitter going. So I was like, okay, I'll turn that on. And then I saw that it was a close game still. They gave up a run in the eighth, and Scott didn't throw yet. And I don't think he didn't throw yesterday. So I was like,
he hasn't thrown in a couple days.
And I was like, yeah, good chance Scott throws tonight. So, and I saw him getting hot, and I left that game on.
And what do you think he did? Shocker.
I mean, yeah,
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 with a punch out.
We were talking about this before we started recording, but Scott's basically going to be the closer for the Yankees with all the injuries they've had at the back end of the bullpen. I mean, they're going to do it a little bit by committee, but I think if you're just blind, if you ask me who I think would come in not knowing anything else other than that it's a save situation, my first guess would be Scott.
I think the only time it wouldn't be is if it's like 2 of the 3 hitters are lefties, then it might be Chapman. But yes, other than that, I'd be like, yeah, it seems like they trust Scott the most.
Scott's in the middle of the circle. If you did a circle of trust, Scott is directly in the middle of the circle of trust.
I don't think it's Chapman. I don't even think Chapman might not make the playoff roster. I think if
come
it's
on,
Tom.
This is not a place for those kind of hot takes.
I think
I don't
have to. You have to just because of his experience. Because he's done it.
And
he's
because of the amount
games.
of dollars on his contract. He's not being left off the playoff rush. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Absolutely not.
I don't think that's most Yankee fans want him DFA'd. I'm just talking about.
Let's not talk. Hey.
That's
this
another
isn't
man's
talking
job.
Yanks. This isn't talking Yanks. We're not going to go crazy hot take on Chapman. Right?
I don't think these are crazy hot takes to say he's going to be left off the playoff roster.
Listen, I don't watch every Yanks game, but leaving Aroldis Chapman off the playoff roster is crazy.
I mean, the guy's won. He's like I said, he's pitching the spots. I think you have to. Versus, like, yes, some other guys might be throwing better, but like he's won a World Series. Like he knows how to pitch when the game's on the line in the 8th inning, 9th inning.
Hey. The last time he threw in the World Series.
Hey, who won though?
But
his team won.
But I still think he should be on the playoff roster.
If he's not, we owe Tom an apology, and
we owe Tom an apology.
We will stand by that.
But Tom right now is wearing Cubs hat, and he's in on the Cubs winning the last 2 games of the year and finishing hot.
JY
so hot.
JY took that hat, reminded me of it. What are they called? City whatever.
City Connect.
City Connect ones. He took that helmet with him. He goes, I look at Danny and I go, can I keep this? And he goes, yeah, man, why not?
That helmet's sick.
And he brought it with him.
I've been thinking about is making a helmet instead of like, all the things people do, the man cave thing, they keep things, whatever. Helmet collection. I think helmet collection is cool. We had a really cool one from the Iowa game The Wrigleyville helmet's really cool. Obviously, the normal Cub helmet's great. I think a helmet collection's a cool thing. Before we do screen time, I want a World Series prediction from everybody right now. Right this second.
I'm going Yankees.
No.
Mets.
Okay, and there you're gonna say your winner.
And I'm saying the Yankees win 4-2.
We're gonna have to do this again when the playoff roster is officially set, but I like that. Tom?
Well, if Chapman's not on it, I want to change my pick.
Okay.
Dodgers in 6 games over the Astros.
What, Tom? You're hedging your bets.
Oh my God, you're
hedging
not
your
even
bets.
a fan. You're not.
You're
even
hoping
a fan.
you're wrong, so the
crazy.
Yankees win.
You're
I mean,
crazy.
I'm gonna root for the Yankees, but like you asked me to make a good pick. I don't think that's a good pick at the moment.
That's fair. That's fair.
Zach.
I got Braves Yankees.
Games winner.
I got Braves repeating.
And how many games?
Games.
6.
I got Braves Yankees as well.
MVP Ronald Acuna.
I got Yanks Team of Destiny.
MVP Scott Efros.
Stopper of
Saves
the year.
He saves all 7 games. 6 games. They win in 6. Sorry.
Brandon Morrow did that. Brandon Morrow
That's
threw in
what
every
I'm-
game.
Well, actually, he can't. He's going to say 4 because otherwise they'd lose the game. So he can't. He can't win 6.
I got 7 game. I got 7 games set. Yanks win game 7. Team of Destiny.
Yankees play the first team to win 6 games in the World Series.
Yep.
They go for the sweep, but they're like, just keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. They're changing it up this year. Get the fans involved.
Let's get the screen time for the people.
All right.
Let's let them know.
Mine's gonna be high because all I did was watch Jet videos.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about. Ooh, this is why I was high. Blah blah blah.
Wow, that's a lot of time on TikTok. That's 2 hours 6 minutes on TikTok. 6:41 is my
Ew.
real bad. I have nothing to do.
Oh no,
I woke
yeah,
up
for
this
sure,
morning.
for sure.
I woke up this morning and I thought, I mean, I might as well get up. I guess I can go sit in the living room instead of sitting in bed.
6 hours and 9 minutes.
Still got me.
Ian?
4 hours 2 minutes.
Wow. Is this my first ever win? 3 hours, 52 minutes.
What are you even doing?
Tom's got to be cheating.
That's not right.
What do you mean? Right there.
Hit me.
352.
I don't know. You doctored it. Damn. Nice. Hey, you were due for a win.
Good for you,
win.
Tom.
Hey,
Hopefully
you deserve it,
that
man.
brings the Yankees some luck too. Good for
No,
you.
Tom's rooting for the Dodgers and Astros.
Oh yeah, good point.
Sorry, Scott. Oh, also, I was going to say this earlier because I went to look up how many innings I had when you asked Zach how many at bats. I searched my name, and on Google it said people also search for, and it said Ian Happ, Zach Short, Scott Efros.
Wow.
Hey,
I was like, that's kind of funny.
look at us.
Best buds.
Who would have thought?
Zach's tired. Sleepy boy.
I am extremely tired.
What'd you
Hey.
shoot today?
77, rough day out there.
Ah,
It was. We played this really, really, really nice
Innes
9-hole
or
course.
something I saw, right?
9-hole course, but it's like I think it's Donald Ross greens. That's how it's designed. So like if you miss at all, the ball is coming right back to you. And it was 20-mile-an-hour wind.
Donnie is
The devil.
he's diabolical out there.
Yeah. It's
But those
I
are
don't know,
fun
I
to
mean,
play every now and then. The ones where you're like, man, this is what they go through on the tour. Huh?
So that's what
This
we're
is
playing.
insane.
We're playing like a nice place tomorrow, but it's like the not crazy greens. We're like, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk.
Me and a couple
Zach.
buddies did Pinehurst a few years back, and he did number 2, and those greens are diabolical.
Yeah, dude, it's unbelievable.
Over under. See, it gets cold soon. Over under 20 rounds you get in before it's
No, because I'm gonna be back and forth Connecticut, and I don't have my brothers. My Pat's not gonna be around. It's tough.
You've changed, man.
Yeah, you've changed.
Maybe
Remember when
if-
you were
maybe
playing?
if, you know,
remember
if
when you
I
were playing in
knew-
amateur events?
If I knew somebody like in the Texas, Houston, Austin kind of area around there, that would be dope.
Yeah,
It would be a cool
dope.
trip. Or I don't know, they golf in Colombia.
Hey. That's been episode 130 of the Compound Podcast, brought to you by Parcel. I love Parse. You love Parse. Go get yourselves Parse. Benny's Benny's. Go to Benny's. You pick it up. You drink it. You save the planet. You plant a tree. I love Parse. You love Parse. Tom's got something to say.
Rum. No, I was just ready to say rum.
Parse.
Wow, that's
Rum.
2 wins.
Rum.
That's two
Oh,
wins for
Dakota
Tom.
wins. We'll see you next week.
We caught him off guard.